There are five types of plumbing pipes that are commonly used in homes: PVC, PEX, ABS, copper, galvanized, and cast iron pipes. Today in this video, we're going to talk about the top five pipes commonly found in homes and the pros and cons, and then also talk about which one might be the best fit for you. PVC, which stands for polyvinyl chlorine pipes, are commonly used as part of a sink, toilet, shower, or drain line. Now, since PVC is plastic tubing, one great advantage of PVC piping is the fact that they are corrosion resistant, which means that they are able to withstand deterioration of its own surface. PVC pipes also contain a smooth inner lining as well, which protects against sediment buildup and makes it more resistant to blockages. So here are the rest of the pros and cons for PVC pipes. You can see that they're very lightweight and they're also good UV radiation protection, which means you can use these outdoors. They're also very durable and have a long lifespan of around 50 to 80 years, and they're very affordable. So if you need to do renovations, they won't cost as much as some of the other pipes. And also, PVC doesn't have high temperature resistance. This means it can't withstand very high temperatures. This is why you don't really see it commonly used in the water heater piping. You usually see copper used, and you usually see PVC used under the sinks. The next on the list is PEX piping, which are cross-linked polyethylene pipes. Now, one of the very unique things about PEX piping is they're very flexible. This makes them great for putting them in the attic, and they're great for going in walls and going around crevices. And also, just like PVC, they're very lightweight, they're affordable, and they're easy to work with as well. And just like PVC, they're corrosion resistant. But one unique thing as well with PEX piping that's different than any of these other pipes on the list is it's often color coded for hot and cold water. So the red would usually mean for the hot water intake, and blue would be for the cold water intake. Another unique and great advantage about PEX piping is the fact that it can be used with other types of pipe like copper piping due to the fact that it's flexible, and this is great if you need to remodel and save some money. You can just use the PEX piping interchangeably with the copper piping. Now, there's three main drawbacks to PEX piping. One being they have a medium lifespan from about 40 to 50 years. They're also not as durable as a lot of these pipes on this list. So if you put them in the attic and you have a rodent problem, they could be easily chewed through. And also, they do not have good UV radiation protection. So these type of pipes are not good to use in the outdoors. The next on the list is ABS piping, which is very similar to PVC piping. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the differences and the similarities between the two. So let's first start off with the differences between the two types of pipes. The first thing you're going to notice is that ABS is a black type of piping and PVC is white. So the color is going to be one of the biggest differences that you're going to notice. Now, the reason that the colors are the way that they are is so that plumbers can distinguish the two, and also because of the chemical they're made of. PVC is not made like ABS, which is made of bisphenol, which is known as BPA, which is what ABS has. Bisphenol, which is BPA, is a chemical produced in large quantities for the use primarily in the production of polycarbonate plastics. Now, remember, the difference is PVC has polyvinyl chloride instead. So those are the two differences in the chemical makeup between the two. Another difference between the two is the way that they're installed. ABS is a little bit easier because it uses a one-step process instead of a two-step process. So for example, ABS pipe connections have to be cemented together while PVC have to be primed and then cemented. So it's a two-step process for PVC, making ABS just slightly easier to install. The last differences between ABS and PVC are pretty small. ABS is just slightly more durable than PVC. However, PVC is slightly more flexible, and ABS is slightly more loud than PVC, as PVC is just slightly more quiet. The last two pipes on our list are going to be our metal pipes. So the first one we're going to start with is copper piping. Now, the one advantage about metal pipes compared to these other pipes that we've talked about so far is that metal pipes are way better at resisting temperature. So higher temperature and even lower temperatures. Now, the other advantages of copper piping is that they are good with UV radiation, so they could be used outside. Now, unlike galvanized steel, copper piping is not as bad with corrosion. However, it's always important to know that metal pipings are always going to be more susceptible to rust and corrosion than plastic pipes. Now, the main drawbacks to copper piping is that it's going to be expensive. So if you do plan on using it, just keep that into perspective. It also has a high thermal conductivity. So that means it often needs to be insulated. So because if you have copper piping behind things, materials that are not able to withstand high heats, it should be insulated. They're also good conductors for electricity. So they're not good to be used around electrical components. Also, if they're not insulated as well. The last type of piping that we're going to talk about on this list is my least recommended, and that's galvanized steel and cast iron type pipes. So we first can start off with the pros. Now, they are very durable, just like copper pipes, because they are made of metal, and they also do have a higher temperature resistance than these plastic pipes, because again, like I've talked about earlier, metal pipings are going to have a higher temperature resistance. However, the main drawback to this type of piping is the fact that they are very susceptible to corrosion due to the fact that they're covered with zinc. Now, zinc is a metal with a relatively low galvanic potential and a high tendency to corrode. So when you look at this chart, you can see that zinc is at the near the very top, and stainless steel and cast iron are also at the top. But you can see that copper is more near that lower portion. Now, the same drawbacks with copper piping are going to apply here. They're also going to be more expensive than plastic options just due to the fact that they're very heavy. They also have a high thermal conductivity and they're also a good electrical conductor, so they need to be insulated to prevent some of those issues. So let's sum it all up. Which pipe might be the best fit for your home? It's just really going to depend on the situation. So if you're looking for something outside, like some pipes up with piping work outside, I would probably not recommend to use PEX piping because of the UV radiation protection is low. I would probably go with PVC. That's why a lot of times when you look at your gutters, the downspouts are actually PVC. But copper piping is good as well if you want to go that route and spend the extra money. If you're looking for something in the attic, something that has to go around a lot of cavities and a lot of corners, then PEX piping probably is the better option because of the flexibility that you can have with the PEX piping. It also has a high temperature resistance, so it could withstand high heats. If you're looking to repipe your water heater, copper piping might be the better option because of the fact of its high ability to withstand heat. So it really just depends on the situation of what you're piping and really just look at the pros and cons and kind of make a decision from there to the best of your ability.